Welcome to the channel, men and women, if you're here as well. I'm Dr. Mitchell Martin. I currently live in the beautiful island of Puerto Rico. I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee. My wife and I and my daughter Gia, we moved here about a year and a half ago, and we've been loving it ever since. So I spent the latter half of the majority of my life in addiction, specifically pornography addiction and gambling, and I saw how that was ruining my life. And it wasn't until that I became my own instrument and started asking those real hard questions to take myself out of denial and into truth, to finally see what it was that I was hiding from and to take responsibility for it. And now I do that in my private capacity, in my private work, with working with men. I've had the honor to work with over 20 men in this containment. And so I thought I would start this channel and start to share some of my experiences, share my work on what it is that I'm doing and how it's completely pivotal in the addiction space, in the addiction world, as a lot of these things aren't talked about, and it's what I've had direct experience with. So I thought the best way to start off this channel would be to hear from one of the men that I had just finished up working with, and he worked with me for a whole entire year. And so I thought, why not let him do the speaking for me? So without further ado, I will get you guys over to Mason.
I began working with Mitchell Martin, the man, summer of 2024, and the experience that I had with him has been truly life-changing in the sense of I have shed so many patterns and made so many things hidden now have been revealed with, my psychology, how I was been thinking, how I was blaming and being the victim and not taking responsibility. And my experience with Mitchell was incremental. I met him through chiropractic, and we had just been in each other's circles. He had put out a free guide that I had downloaded, and I had no really intention of wanting to work with somebody. I was still operating out of a deep-rooted shame of I didn't want anybody to see. And so I downloaded this guide, and with the intention of me doing it solo, I was lone wolfing it at that point in my life, just, holding everything in and just scraping by, trying to make something work. And Mitchell ended up reaching out to me, and I felt deeply that he could help me. He could mirror the things that I hadn't wanted to shine light on. And when I say incremental, I think I initially had said, well, let's do two months together first, and then see how much progress we can make. And then each time we got to the 2 months, I'm like, let's extend. And I really think that the biggest breakthrough was when I committed to the final 6 months, which rounded out a full year of me working with Mitchell, for me to invest. Like, I invested in, because like with the incremental, it was just like, I was just, I don't know if it's going to work, so let's just do a couple more months and see if that'll do it. And because I didn't take responsibility and go all in, my results were delayed, and I would implement some things, monthly, but like week by week, I'd implement some stuff, and it was all leading up to the big change. And I have so much gratitude for Mitchell for how he challenged me, pushed me, loved me, like tough love, because it got me to where I'm thriving in a state where I can drive to the beach in 3 minutes. I have access to such great food, organic, and I've just become more of myself that I've ever been. And Mitchell has been a really wonderful catalyst for all of that. And I did the work, but he was the one pushing and encouraging, and I couldn't have done it without him. And I'm just getting started, truly. Like the baseline that I'm now operating out of is such a beautiful, amazing foundation for really the rest of my life. There's no shame in asking for help and working with somebody who has a lot of experience in addiction. And I'm so glad that I did that and worked with them, because I feel confident, vibrant, vital. I feel alive. And take a chance. Go all in. You know, Mitchell is a one-of-a-kind man. So I hope this is useful. I hope this can be utilized if you're listening to this or watching this. You're in the right space. Whatever decision you choose, it's the right one.